Have you ever thought about what it truly means to be a hero? Well, today we're going to dive into a profound story from an ancient Buddhist text. It's all about a looming crisis and an absolutely incredible promise that one enlightened being makes for the future of us all. It's a story that honestly might just change how you think about selflessness.
So, where does this all kick off? It starts in the presence of the Buddha, with one of his great disciples asking what seems like a pretty straightforward question. Hey, for someone trying to reach nirvana, what's the game plan? How should we learn, act, and think? But the Buddha's answer? It opens up a whole different can of worms. Yeah, instead of a simple how-to guide, the Buddha delivers this, well, it's a chilling prophecy. He talks about a coming final age when his teachings would be corrupted, not from the outside, but from within. A storm is gathering, and it's threatening the very path to enlightenment itself. The Buddha warns about 4 kinds of thieves who are going to infiltrate the spiritual community. The first one? The hypocrite. You know, the one who looks the part, wears the robes, but behind closed doors is breaking all the rules. The classic wolf in sheep's clothing and a real danger to anyone looking for genuine guidance. Okay, so the second thief's corruption is all internal. This is the practitioner who, especially in the quiet of the night, just has a mind swirling with greed and craving for offerings and status. On the outside, they might look serene, but inside, their mind is a complete storm of desire. Then we have the third thief. This one is a big deal. We're talking about someone who falsely claims they're enlightened, all for the sake of personal gain. You know, offerings and fame. The Buddha makes it clear this is a huge offense, saying the negative karma is worse than stealing every treasure in the world.
And finally, the fourth thief. This one is driven entirely by ego, constantly pumping themselves up while tearing others down. This kind of behavior just creates division and poisons the whole spiritual community from the inside out.
So you can imagine, hearing all of this, the wise disciple Mahakāssyapa is just shaken. He tells this little story about a frail old man who's asked to guard a priceless treasure, and then he admits his own weakness. He looks at the Buddha and says, "Such a heavy burden, I cannot bear it." He's basically saying, I'm not strong enough to protect the teachings through a dark age like that.
Wow. So the situation looks pretty bleak, right? If even a great disciple like Mahakāssyapa feels he's not up to the task, who could possibly protect the Dharma? The world needs a champion, someone with the kind of strength and compassion to handle the storm that's coming. But Mahakāssyapa has an idea. He looks around the assembly and nominates the one person he believes can handle this monumental task. He uses another story, this time about a strong, healthy man, to propose the Bodhisattva Maitreya as the perfect guardian for the future.
And get this, the Buddha agrees. And what happens next is just epic. In a moment of huge cosmic importance, he extends his golden-colored hand, places it right on Maitreya's head, and officially entrusts the future of the Dharma to him. And at that exact moment, the entire world system shakes in 6 different ways. A universal sign that something massive has just happened. Maitreya then stands up, and his response, it's absolutely breathtaking. He says that for the sake of helping just one single person, he would gladly suffer for countless eons. So, how could he possibly say no to this sacred duty? With that, he accepts the charge, and, again, the world shakes. Okay, so this is the big question, right? What exactly did Maitreya just sign up for? This is where the Buddha breaks down the absolute core of a bodhisattva's mission. The sutra calls them the 4 definitive vows, and this, right here, is the heart of Maitreya's promise.
Let's break these down. First, he vows to become a Buddha himself and teach the Dharma. That's the foundation. Second, he vows to free every single being from suffering. That shows his incredible compassion. Third, he promises to guide them all to their own enlightenment, so it's about empowering others, not just saving them. And finally, and this is the real kicker, he vows to give up his own bliss to make sure everyone else can be happy. That is the ultimate act of selfless love.
You know, a promise like that, it takes a kind of energy, a kind of commitment that's almost hard to wrap your head around. The sutra calls this compassionate diligence. It's not just about working hard. It's a relentless effort that is fueled by this massive, all-encompassing love for others.
The Buddha uses this really powerful metaphor to show the difference between the real deal and the fakes. The false practitioners are like dogs, he says, jealously guarding their little territory. But a true bodhisattva? They have the lion's roar. They speak the truth with courage and confidence for the good of everyone.
So, what's the motivation behind all this? To explain it, the Buddha tells this beautiful story. A bodhisattva sees every living being as their one and only beloved child. And when that child is trapped in the prison of worldly suffering, the bodhisattva, like that loving father, willingly walks into the prison too. Not because they have to, but out of pure love, just to rescue them.
And the sheer scale of effort here is just mind-boggling. The Buddha says you could take the diligence of every single being in the universe, combine it all, and it would still be just a tiny fraction of a bodhisattva's diligence, who is constantly fighting against the current of suffering to help others.
This incredible spirit of selfless compassion, it totally changes the game on what it means to be generous. The sutra draws a very sharp line between what we might think is a great gift and what is truly the ultimate, most priceless offering you can give. To really hammer home the value of the Dharma, the Buddha makes this comparison that is just staggering. He says the merit you get from sharing just one 4-line verse of the teachings is greater than the merit of filling an entire universe with jewels and giving it all away.
And here's why. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. Material gifts, even infinite ones, only bring temporary comfort. They can't solve the big problems, can they? Birth, old age, sickness, death. Only the wisdom of the Dharma, the ultimate gift, can offer a permanent solution, a real and lasting freedom from all that suffering.
So this ancient story, this incredible promise made for a distant future, it leaves us with a really powerful question for right now. Seeing that level of selfless commitment, that kind of boundless compassion, how can Maitriya's great vow inspire us, in our own lives, right here in our own time, to act with just a little more courage and a little more compassion for the good of others?